Welcome back to Whispering Arcane, or if you're new here, welcome. Today we're diving into something that's been circulating heavily in spiritual and esoteric circles lately, the so-called monad call. You've probably seen the titles, Learn the Call of the Monad, or the striking line, Sophia doesn't pray, she works with the monad. At first glance, it sounds a lot like modern manifesting, visualization, scripting, calling things in, and in many ways, it is. But it's also older, deeper, and far less forgiving than the version being taught on social media. So let's unpack what this really means, where it comes from, and why it's not just another manifestation technique. In the ancient Gnostic texts, writings discovered in places like Nag Hammadi, the monad is the absolute beginning, not a person, not a god, sitting on a throne, but pure, ineffable unity, the One. Before anything was named, before light or darkness split apart, before even the first thought arose, there was only the monad, perfect, indivisible, beyond gender, beyond form, beyond anything our minds can grasp. From this monad emanates everything else in what the Gnostics called the Pleroma, the fullness of divine reality. Layer after layer of eons, perfect beings of light and knowing, each one a reflection of the source. And among them is Sophia, wisdom. She's the youngest eon, curious, creative, restless. In the myth, Sophia tries to create something on her own, without her divine counterpart. That act of separation births the demiurge, Yaldabaoth, the flawed creator god who fashions our material world and its rules. Sophia realizes her mistake. She sees the suffering her action helped create, and so she turns, not to beg or grovel, but to call upward, to the higher realms, ultimately to the monad itself. Her call is not a prayer in the way we usually think of prayer. It's not a list of requests. It's not submission. It's a vibrational recognition, a return, a remembrance of unity. And here's where the modern phrase comes in. Sophia doesn't pray. She works with the monad. What that means is she doesn't treat the source as something separate that she has to convince or appease. She doesn't outsource her power. Instead, she aligns herself so completely with the monad that she participates in its creative power directly. She becomes a conduit, an extension, a co-creator, not a petitioner. Now compare that to modern manifesting. Today we're told, visualize hard enough, feel it real, script it, repeat affirmations, raise your vibration, and the universe will deliver. And sometimes it does. Energy follows focus. That part is true. But the monad call is not about attracting something external to fill a hole. It's not about getting a new car, a soulmate, or a pile of money. It's about dissolving the illusion that there ever was a hole to begin with. When you truly remember that you are not separate from the monad, that your essence is already that same ineffable unity, reality begins to rearrange itself around that truth, not because you demanded it, not because you earned it, but because distortion cannot coexist with perfect coherence for long. That's the frequency piece. When alignment is real, not performative, not ego-driven, the vibration becomes so clear, so unified, that lower frequencies literally can't stick. Dark intent, manipulation, control-based manifesting, those can produce results too, yes. People do it every day, but they do it from separation, from fear, from scarcity, and the price is steep. The distortion they create eventually collapses back on them, through karma, through consequences, through the very systems they tried to exploit. True monad alignment doesn't leave room for that kind of contradiction. The higher the coherence, the more unbearable it becomes to hold malice, greed, or domination. The light exposes it, the remembrance burns it away. So this is not a toy. It is not a quick fix manifestation hack. With the way things are moving right now, judgment rippling through the collective, timelines tightening, old structures shaking, this kind of direct work is accelerating everything. What you call in from alignment unfolds naturally and cleanly. What you force from misalignment returns faster and harder. The call itself isn't a special mantra or a long ritual. It doesn't require fancy words. In the stillness, when the mind quiets and the seeking stops, you simply remember. You let the illusion of separation fall away. You feel the source already present, already whole, already here. That recognition is the call, and reality listens, not because it was asked, but because it was remembered. So if you feel drawn to this, don't rush. Don't try to weaponize it for big ego desires. Sit with it. Let it show you what's real. Let it show you what was never missing. Thank you for being here with me in this space. If this resonated, please like the video, subscribe for more, and share it with anyone who might need to hear this right now. Until next time, stay curious, stay sovereign, and keep listening to what remembers itself.